Okay, in this video I'm going to show you my strat using the HydroBurn team against the Gunsmoke boss Tumorhynchus Massacre. I'll be using a V6 Springfield, V6 QJ, V6 Lewis, V6 Tololo, and a V6 Lind. One important thing to keep in mind when it comes to positioning you when you have Lewis in the party is the 2 units you want to get the 10 soldiers from her have to be the closest units, because that's the 2 units she applies it to. So by positioning like this, my Lind and my Tololo will be the 2 to get the 10 soldiers. And I have the fixed key on Lewis, Secret of Spreading Smiles, which allows it to be attached to non-burn units. Since Lind is corrosion and Tololo is hydro, I need that key equipped on her to make it work. Okay. So I'm going to start with QJ. I'm going to put her behind this fence here, ultimate. And then I'm going to move Springfield behind the fence right here and use her ultimate on the boss. Then use her skill 2 on Tololo. I'm going to move Tololo to the side to the left of Springfield here, and we're going to use her ultimate on the boss. Skill 2. And ultimate. And we're going to put Lind right next to QJ here, and she's going to use her ultimate. And her skill 2. Now we're going to move Lewis up to this fence, and we're going to have her use her skill 2. Now, I forgot to mention is the boss will use an attack right here, Venom Lash, and it'll hit all enemies within 6 tiles. If it hits 5 or more targets, it gains a stack of fatigue, which is a debuff for defense down by 8% up to a maximum of 3 stacks. If it doesn't hit any of your units, it gains a buff called Anger, which is an attack buff, increased by 5% up to a maximum of 7. So it's important to always have at least one person within range of the boss when it does this attack. Preferably, you want to have at least 5 units within range of that attack so you can maintain the fatigue debuff and the max stacks of 3, which would be a 24% reduction in defense. So we're going to start with QJ here. As you can see, there are 3 adds now. They're going to spawn every even numbered turn, and you'll want to take these out as soon as you can. I'm going to go ahead and ultimate on QJ. And we're going to have Springfield use her skill 1 on the boss. And now I'm going to have Tololo attack the boss, and with the 10 soldier being attached to her, when she finishes her active skill, the doll will use an attack called Volley Fire, and it's going to kill this ad down here. We're going to use her skill 1. As you can see, killed the ad down here, so that's one less to worry about. Let's go ahead and use Talola's skill 2. And her ultimate. Now, if that wasn't the case, my Lyn could still hit all 3 of the ads with her ultimate, if need be. I would just have to move her down 2 tiles and then use her ultimate, and it would have hit the one down here as well as hit these 2. But since I don't have to worry about that bottom one, I'm just going to leave her behind this fence here. I'm just going to use her ultimate. It's going to take these 2 out, and it's going to hit the boss. And use her skill 2. And Lewis is going to use her ultimate. Okay, now the boss is getting ready to do attacks on these NPCs, which give you buffs, and so you don't want these NPCs to get killed. So you'll want to move your units into one of these red tiles, but you also don't want to be right next to your NPC here. So I'm going to move QJ here, and the attack that would have hit the NPC is going to actually hit whoever's the furthest from the center of this attack. So as you can see with QJ being here and the NPC being in the dead center, I could actually put her anywhere and the attack will hit her. However, if I'm not mistaken, it does have a bit of an AoE. AoE corrosion damage within 1 tile of them. Okay, so as you can see, I'm 2 tiles below this NPC, so that's fine. So we'll use her ultimate. And we're going to go with Springfield here. And we're going to actually put her down 1, 2, 3 tiles. So again, not more than 1 tile away from this NPC here. And then I'm going to use her skill 2 on Tololo. And then Tololo is just going to use all her attacks on the boss, starting with skill 1. Her skill 2. And her ultimate. And now we're going to have Lind use her ultimate. And her skill 2. Now we're going to move Lewis over here in this red tile. Just like how we have QG on the one over here, we're going to have Lewis over here, so she's 2 tiles away from the NPC. And we're going to have her use her skill 2 on the boss. Alright. Now that the red tiles for the AoE attack is gone, which means he's not going to do it this next turn, we can move everyone back within range of the Venom Lash attack. So we're going to go ahead and put QJ right next to Lind here and use her ultimate. And also keep in mind the ads have respawned. So now we're going to go back here to Springfield, move her back up next to Tololo, use her ultimate on the boss. This also cleanses the debuff that we just got from tanking the hit for the NPCs, which converts it to a buff called Survival Rally. I see I already have 3 stacks of it, 1 for each person who had the debuff that was cleansed. For a 10% increase in attack, 3 stacks, that's 30. What was the... I believe it was Corrosive Slime was the name of the attack. I'll have to check on the next turn. So anyways, we will use her skill 1 on the boss. Now Tololo is going to use all 3 of her attacks on the boss, starting with skill 1. Which the Tyndall will kill this ad here after I end the turn. Use the skill 2. And use the ultimate. And now Lynn's going to use her ultimate, taking out the other 2 ads and hitting the boss. And then using her skill 2. Then we're going to move Lewis back over here behind this fence, and we're going to have her use her ultimate on the boss. As you can see, the red tiles are back for the AoE attacks that the boss is going to use on the NPCs. We're going to start with QJ, and we're going to move her back over here on this red tile and use her ultimate. And then we're going to have Springfield come down 3 tiles here, and she's going to use her skill 2 on Tololo. And Tololo is going to use all 3 of her attacks on the boss again, starting with skill 1. Skill 2. And ultimate. And then we're going to have Lind use her ultimate. And her skill 2. Then we're going to have Lewis come over here into this red tile here and use her skill 2 on the boss. Okay, now we just have to worry about the ads again. So we're going to go ahead and just move QJ back in range of Venom Lash. Use her ultimate. And Springfield is going to move up 3 tiles here next to Tololo. She's also, so she'll be back in range of the Venom Lash as well. And we're going to have her use her skill 1 on the boss. And then we're going to have Tololo use all 3 attacks on the boss, starting with skill 1. And Volley Fire on the ad down here from the Tin Soldier. Use her skill 2. Now, let's see. Use her ultimate. Now, I'm about to do Lynn's ultimate, and if it's still alive, I'll use her skill 2. Assuming that the boss has enough HP that you'd go into the next turn. After Lynn's ultimate and skill 2, you would move Lewis back down over here next to the behind this fence, and then she's going to use her ultimate. And then on the next turn, is the last turn. Even though you'll see the red tiles, that you won't have to worry about that. So you could just attack from where you're at, which I would just do QJ's ultimate, and then Springfield would use her ultimate and then use her skill 2 on Tololo. Tololo would use her skill 1, skill 2, and ultimate on the boss. Then Len would use her ultimate and skill 2 on the boss. And then Lewis would use her skill 2 on the boss. And that would be all the attacks you could do. And that's pretty much my strat. So let's go ahead and finish off the boss. The ultimate, then skill 2, and now the boss is dead. Alright. And that's my strat. Thanks for watching.